I need better. I need more lighting. That's better. It's like the exact same. Okay. Hey there, hi there, Cancers, and welcome to your Shadow Soulmate reading. So, what that means is that we're going to be exploring your soulmate connection deeper than just the soulmate part, and we're going to actually be exploring like the shadow part. Um, and that's like the dark side of your soulmate's energy and your energy. And I have a soulmate spread here, and I'm going to be using this deck, the Darkwood Tarot deck here. Okay. And so up first, we have your soulmate's energy, and we have the card of justice. Okay. So let's see. Soulmate justice energy. Justice is the archetype of the law. What you do to others, you do to yourself. Okay? The shadow witch set the wheel of fortune spinning and now moves through the wood with crystal clear intention. The hermit has explained karma to the witch. The hermit revealed that karma is in the infused magic of responsibility, that which keeps universal order. What we put out into this world is what comes back to us. This is how each of us determines our fate and sets the course of our destiny. The shadow witch was told to find justice, and she recognizes the scales of balance. Justice traditionally reflects the glue of law and order with social, moral, ethical, and safety codes. Justice takes on a deeper meaning inside the dark wood. It is the moment of personal truth. The work and effort you put into a project or a situation is what is returned to you. Justice allows no shortcuts, lies, or deceptions. She holds a sword of truth. It will see the heart of the matter and the tenor of all souls. Two kneeling maidens are blindfolded. They can remove their blindfolds once they claim their role and responsibility for their actions, thoughts, and choices, bringing them to justice's feet. Those who integrate justice's lessons will act with integrity and become free. We show up for ourselves, our desires, and for other people. The universe responds. Okay, that is so much better. Okay. So, yeah. Justice. Wow. Okay. Yeah, your soulmate's really going through a lot right now. Okay. Work and effort, karma, the witch's rule of 3. The energy you put out returns to you 3 times over. Taking responsibility, doing the right thing even if it is tough, scary choice, showing up when you would rather avoid the situation, doing right by yourself, facing the truth, owning up. Shadow, considering yourself above people, places, and things, using your story to become a martyr, judging yourself harshly and shaming others to feel better about yourself, speaking ill of others and spreading malicious gossip, pleasure and humiliation. Wow, pleasure and humiliation. Oh my goodness. Okay. I mean, like, whew, wow. Yeah, I think your soulmate has been through a lot of humiliation, and I feel like now, and it's because of they've been around people that just like weren't, like they weren't making your soulmate a priority. But this karma is turning everything around. Okay. I feel like I want to read from like some other books here. Okay. Share justice. Yeah. Let me see here. In its upright position, the justice card symbolizes fairness, balance, truth, the pursuit of it. Yeah, your soulmate is on a quest right now for truth and for justice. I also have this other book here, Meditations on the Tarot. And I have another book too, which I'm going to say this wrong. The Llewellyn, I think is how you pronounce it. I've been saying it like Elwyn. I don't know why. Maybe because I'm like dyslexic or something, or I don't know. My brain just, But yeah, and also I have this fairy message for you too from your fairies. Okay, Cancer. Your fairy godmother. Inner child. The fairies of playfulness remind you to make time to embrace your inner child. Playing keeps us young at heart. Do something silly and fun, but stay safe. Inner child. Okay, so let me see what this one says here about justice. I want to know what's going on with justice here. Okay. Deliberating, search for truth and justice, weighing an issue or situation, striving for balance and equilibrium, remaining impartial or centered, and so capable of fair judgment, insight, honesty and honor, discriminating logic, the value of order, the triumph of reason, appropriate response, karma, law of cause and effect, negotiating, equal partnerships, legal affairs, favorable judgment in legal matters, self-government, having the inner strength and confidence not to be swayed by the opinions of others, eternal balance achieved by being temporarily unattached to an outcome, having the patience to allow justice time to determine her course, having the courage, strength, and conviction to uphold and implement justice, taking the right action, even if unpopular or costly. The card can relate to civil justice or the concept of divine justice. Yeah, so your soulmate is like very heavily pursuing justice right now because they've been dealing with injustice for so long, but they've been dealing with corruption, abuse. They've been dealing with a lot of they've been dealing with a lot of people who have like done them dirty. Okay. Yeah. Shout out to Celsius. This is my favorite flavor, peach vibe. It's my favorite flavor. Okay. Yeah. All right. And then the meditations on tarot. Okay. Let me see. What does this say about justice? 173. Okay. All right. It says here, dear unknown friend, the seventh arcanum taught us how inner equilibrium is attained. The teaching of the eighth arcanum is how this equilibrium, once reached, is maintained. And the ninth arcanum shows us the method on which opens up to he who knows how to attain and maintain equilibrium. Okay. Yeah. In other words, the seventh arcanum tells us how to attain equilibrium or health. The eighth arcanum shows us the mechanism of microcosmic and macrocosmic equilibrium, and the ninth arcanum teaches us the way of peace, or the middle way, that of balanced spiritual development, which is proper to Hermeticism, taken as the synthesis of mysticism, gnosis, magic, and science. Yeah, you're balancing out like two different types of the cosmic. It's talking about like the micro and the macro. It's like a little bit and a lot. Yeah, you got to find balance there for sure. So this brings us to your energy, and we have the High Priestess. Okay, Cancer. You're trusting your intuition when it comes to this connection, because the thing with this connection is that there's I feel like a fine line here. I feel like you gave and you gave and you gave to when it comes to your connection, when it comes to your partnership with like a soulmate, right? You're so used to being the one that just gives all the time, and I feel like you're sort of trying to find more of that equilibrium, which is like what kind of like your soulmate is kind of demonstrating to you like their own interpretation of justice and equilibrium, and you are seeing how they manage that, and you're sort of like picking up on that and saying, I think I should try some of that too, you guys are learning a lot from each other through this connection. That is definitely for sure. I feel like you're learning more about like while your soulmate is on this journey for justice, you're on this journey of intuition, of mystery, of divine feminine. You're learning more about feminine energy. You're learning more about trusting your intuition, and you're also like solving the mystery of like yourself, and also solving the mystery like of who your soulmate is too at the same time. You both are like unlocking each other's like diaries or something. You're just like reading it. I don't know. Like I know people don't have, you know, who has a diary, right? But it's kind of like their minds, you know. You're like seeing how their mind works, and you're really like fascinated by it. The High Priestess symbolizes deep intuition, the mysteries of the subconscious, and the power of the divine feminine. This card represents a connection to the hidden realms of knowledge and a heightened awareness to the unseen. The High Priestess encourages you to trust your inner wisdom, instincts, and psychic abilities. It signifies a time of introspection, reflection, and accessing spiritual insights. The High Priestess card invites you to explore the realms beyond the material and embrace the power of the intuitive and mysterious aspects of life. Hidden agendas, lack of intuition, unveiling secrets. Yeah, that's exactly what you don't want. Like, you don't want your soulmate to feel like they can't trust you. You don't, like, you've already made it very clear to them, Cancer, that, like, and they made it clear to you, you guys, like, there's no hidden agenda here, okay? You both are basically being very open and honest about, like, what you guys both want from this connection. And, yeah, so the shadow part of it, though, is, like, when your inner wisdom can be clouded, you need to be cautious. Yeah. I think it's better for you both to like not reveal so much information to like outside third parties, because it's none of their business, and also because this connection is so like new and fragile, I feel like, for both of you. So it's like you're still like in those early stages of like figuring out like what is the karmic lesson here, right? I feel like sometimes there doesn't need to be like a karmic lesson, and I feel like the lesson is that you both deserve this happiness with each other, because you've already dealt with so many other karmic lessons in the past. I feel like you both kind of just came through a karmic lesson. Yeah, like you're both like, wow, because there's a whole other mate energy, and there's like the soulmate energy, which is like the fun, romantic, like cute couple type energy. Then there's the shadow mate energy, and that's like you're both of you have like a dark side too, right? And then there's like the wounded mate, which is somebody I think is when we both like, it's like a trauma bond. So there's these different types of mate connections, and I feel like they go like you go through stages too, you know. So I'm just trying to figure out. I guess it's better just to read the next card in the book here. But let me tell you what the shadow energy is for the High Priestess first, and the meaning for that, and then that will get us to where we need to go next. Okay. High Priestess. Yeah, I don't think you guys have a trauma bond. Yeah, I think you guys are both like not bonding off trauma, which is really good. Silence, secrets, darkness, evolution of the soul, the blueprint of your personality, talents and traits, a deep knowledge, third eye vision, activated intuition, lunar cycles, inner knowledge, personal authenticity. Okay, now the shadow part of this here to be careful of is self-indulgent and self-centered, a narcissistic, obsessed with the self, an exaggerated sense of importance, excessive need for affirmation, lack of empathy, distrust, and the ability to follow one's own inner voice. Yeah, that's the shadow stuff that you guys like. You are so like aware of that shadow energy, especially you, Cancer, that you're like not gonna let that be in your connection. You don't want any type of, you don't want to be a narcissist. You're not a narcissist, Cancer, but like I feel like you get so worried or stressed out that like maybe you're like being too self-indulgent or too like self-centered. You're not Cancer, okay? If anything, I feel like you're like trying so hard not to do that, that if you do that, it's like your soulmate's already gonna know, like you're already doing the shadow work, and I know you're trying, so like don't feel bad if like some kind of like, you know, need for admiration or something comes out, because like it's normal. Then there's like the whole other level where someone is completely operating in their shadow 24/7. They're showing you no sympathies, no empathies whatsoever. You can't trust that energy, because that energy is very like self-involved right at that moment in that time. They may never come out of that, and that's okay. But that isn't the connection I see with you and your person, Cancer. I see you guys are both very mature. So what we teach each other, and we have this Empress energy here. This is beautiful, okay? So let's take a look here. This Empress energy. Yeah. And this comes right after the High Priestess too. So let's see here. The Empress is the archetype of the mother. Your passion is the blueprint to your magic. Okay? She is the pure creative expression of the ever-expanding universe in human form. The Empress contains the passion and energy to create and destroy life. She is the insanity driving an artist to the brink of madness. As the mother archetype, she bears the burden of societal fantasy, for mothers are expected to be all things to all creatures. Okay? Yeah, so there's just like, you guys, I feel like you guys are like, both of you are very mature. So mother figure, creation, artistic ability, soft, gentle, nurturing touch, reinvention and expression, confidence in the abundance of the soul, fertility and birth, sensorial pleasure and earthly delights, stepping into a seasonal change, displaying natural abundance in all things, the nurturing of self-expression and potential. Now, this is where the shadow part, you know, comes in a little bit here. And this is really like interesting, because I don't think either one of you, Cancer, are like operating from a place of ego and shadow. I think you guys both are like putting that in check so that you can enjoy the connection. It's when you start to let your shadow take the wheel and can try to control everything, that's when the connection starts, you know, the energy of it goes flat, it flatlines, because you need to have, like, the shadow needs to be channeled into something that is not projected onto your partner, okay? So, but anyways, I'll tell you what the shadow energy is, like what it feels like, so that if you are looking for a soulmate and a shadow mate, then a shadow mate is like your person's dark side. But like if they're only operating from the shadow and they're not even trying to control that part of themselves, then you don't really want to be around them, okay? Yeah. So, destroying the hopes and dreams of another. No one wants to be around someone like that, okay? Unsupportive attitude, thoughtless words, jealousy over another's success, hating on others' good fortune because you do not believe in your own power, abusing motherly power, okay? Yeah, see, you don't want someone like that, you know? If you're looking for a connection, if someone is like aware of what shadow energy looks like and how it feels, and they don't, wow, look at that, okay, and they don't want it controlling the relationship, the connection, then, you know, they won't let that energy affect the connection. It's once a person steps out of the positive side of the connection, because usually connections do start off pretty positive, right? Like, everyone's super happy and psyched to get together, and then the aftermath of that, they start slipping back into their shadow again. And you're like, okay, well, are you going to stay there forever, or are you going to come out? And they want to stay there because it feels safe for them. That is something you don't need to feel obligated. You don't need to feel obligated to stay with someone operating in that energy. You don't need to feel obligated to work with someone operating in that energy and be partnered with somebody in that energy. You can sever the ties. I'm not like, you choose what boundaries you want to put in place and say, well, I'm just letting you know that you're kind of operating in this type of way right now. That's fine. You do you, boo. Like, you do you. But I'm going to go over here and operate in this other energy right now because you're staying in your shadow. And that is not a healthy place to be. And a shadow mate isn't someone who like keeps somebody in their shadows and like they just stay there forever. A shadow mate is someone who understands what the shadow work is and what the shadow means and doesn't let it affect the connection, because you're a mate, so you're essentially like partnering up together in order to make sure the like keep the other person not slipping into their shadow, sort of. And it's kind of like a invisible sort of like agreement energetically, where you're just like, you don't want the other person to slip back into their old ways, and they don't want you to slip back into your old ways of like staying negative, if that ever even was you. It's kind of like, that's why I call it like the shadow soulmate, because they're essentially wanting to bring positivity and warmth and love and healing and growth and light to the connection, but they're not completely ignorant to the fact that their shadow work is forever. Okay, you can take little vacations every now and then, but you, at the end of the day, we all have to do our shadow work. And if we don't do it, then we're essentially, and if we're staying in that place forever, we're essentially just agreeing to be like in this negative, controlling mindset forever, when really we can just learn to let go and, you know, see the light of day again, right? Go up to the surface again. And these are like levels of consciousness too. So you guys are basically teaching each other, don't stay stuck in the shadow. Do the shadow work, and then when you're done with it, you know, celebrate, have a good time, because you did it. Okay. I don't know why I'm thinking of the TV show Severance. I feel like the people in the office, if you've ever seen that show, it's about people who went through this like medical procedure where they go to work, and after they leave work, like they get on an elevator, and as soon as they like get on the elevator and it reaches like the top floor, the first floor, automatically they forget everything they did that day at work to relieve stress. I feel like you doing shadow work is like you're in your subconscious. Maybe you're even in your unconsciousness. Maybe you've reached that level of shadow work, and your soulmate is like, and your shadow mate really is like someone that's also there too and doing that too. And then when you guys reach level of consciousness, you're like, oh, okay, like now we're waking in the waking world. Like now we can have fun and do fun stuff and have a good time. I also think, and this is like a new theory that I'm just putting out there, and it probably is going to sound like totally not normal or whatever, but I think that there is a deep connection subconsciously, even unconsciously, in the dream world. I think there's a way for you to connect with someone who you consider to be your soulmate or your shadow mate or even your wound mate. Like, and I think that connection right there is like, there is some level of communication that can happen like via the dream world. Okay. Again, I don't I'm just gonna like call like people who you've like been with, like slept with, we're just gonna call those people like our lovers or your lover or whatever, because we are doing tarot after all. And I feel like the terms boyfriend, girlfriend, like fiance, like these labels people like just do not like these labels anymore. Like these are like dirty words now that mean something so serious and like just scares people. And I'm like, okay, well, you don't have to put like a label on it, but how about lover? Right? Like, so yeah. So I think there is a connection between the dream worlds and like the people that you've slept with, like lovers. So I don't know. It's a working theory. It's a work in progress, but there's definitely something going on there energetically for sure. Like you might even be having dreams about your lover, and your lover, you might refer to them as your soulmate. I know that people don't usually say that a lot because it's like it's such a heavy term that can mean so much emotionally, but that's what we're here for, okay? And that's what the energy feels like. And not everyone says it out loud. Not everyone wants to use that word and voice that word and that term because they are worried or scared that's going to scare away the person that they're sleeping with. Okay? So we don't need to be scared to talk about it. Like, this is a safe place to do talk about it. So what separates us? This is going to be where things get a little bit spicy. We have the Hierophant, okay? So, yeah. The Hierophant. What is separating the Hierophant? Okay. The answers you seek stand before you. The Hierophant is the archetype of the teacher. Okay. A shadow which departs from the valley of fire, she spies a book upon her path. She picks up the tome and flips through its sweet musky pages. Another strewn book catches her attention. This book leads to another book. Before she knows it, like a trail of breadcrumbs, the books lead her to an animated anthropomorphic tree. Trees are wise teachers to those who stop, look, and listen. Ooh, okay. Yeah, I'm getting a little bit of like breadcrumbing here. Group think, crowd mentality. This is very shadow. This is why separating you guys. So, yeah, someone's breadcrumbing. Yeah, wow. Okay. So the Hierophant tree stands as the external symbol form and doorway to religion and assorted dogmas. All religious and spiritual teachings come from the Hierophant. The Hierophant is the shaman, medicine woman, priest, guru, and yogi who passes an historic information to students and disciples. This card reflects the relationship between mentor and student. It is giving and taking, the pursuit of knowledge, and a systematic course of study. Crossed keys bearing the dark wood's initials reflect the unlocking of knowledge. A teacher encourages the student to uncover what they have always known deep inside. The two turtles in the water are the connection to natural history. The snake is Kundalini power. The Hierophant makes the sign of benediction and blessing with her right hand. Her left hand holds a scroll of ancient symbols, an historic gateway to a knowledge transcending language. Symbols speak directly to our unconscious. She is our attempt to explain and explore the inevitable. Yeah, see, this is what I mean by the dreams. That's separating. Yeah. Yeah, if you are having any dreams about a lover that you're seeing, like things are very symbolic to you, okay? Like I feel like you might have had dreams, for instance, about like okay, so I think maybe you guys picking up on like dreams about your lover. So you might have had dreams about them, and then the symbols, the images, the things, the place that you saw in your dream. This person that was your lover, maybe there was some kind of like image or coincidence that they shared, and like you saw these images, okay, and you're like, whoa, that is so like trippy that you had a dream about these images, and then this person who was your lover shared images like this. They don't even know that you had this dream about them. I feel like you don't tell people a lot about your dreams. Like I feel like there's like a very select special group of people that you share, maybe even just one person that you share your dreams with, because there's some kind of like strong trust connection there. I feel like, but I think this person who was your lover, I don't think they're your soulmate or your shadow mate. Like right now, maybe they were. Yeah, I feel like that person, you don't need to like worry about them, or you don't need to like spend time trying to like decode or decipher any dreams that you have of them or any stuff that they post. Like, we do live in this digital world, right, of online social media, and I feel like maybe a lot of you spend time on social media and like communicate through there. It's kind of like it's a world of its own, really. So the metaverse. No. I feel like for you guys, it's like, if this person hasn't like directly communicated with you, and all the only communications happened is like via the dream world, via the unconscious, subconscious, let that be it. Like, don't bring this to the conscious environment. Don't bring this to the communication. Like, don't communicate with them about any of this, because I really don't think they understand. I think they want to understand. I think they try to understand. Deep down inside, it's a lot for them to like process. I think, really, I do feel that way. It's not saying like they don't like think that what you do is like important or significant in any type of way. I just feel like they don't, at least right now, they just don't have that capacity to understand. However, I think now you moved into a new energetic connection with someone new, and I think that person can actually like comprehend. And I think that I think you probably have like a group of people collectively that can comprehend, and I think that's where you should stay. Like, that's your safe zone. That other person, that past lover, they're operating in a very shadow place right now, and you don't need to use the term like soulmate with them. You don't need to use the term shadow mate with them. I think that they've energetically, I think that while they haven't like severed ties with you, I think energetically right now, like, the term is probably like ghosting. Okay, that's probably like the best term for it. I feel like they still like troll your socials, but they're not gonna admit that. But I really feel like that they do that. I feel like they keep an eye on you, right? It's like, you don't need to do that, bruh. Like, it's like that haunting ghost. Like, they do try to haunt you, I think, a little bit. But anyways, because that's what ghosts do. They haunt, okay? So they act like they're dead when they're really like still there. So yeah, this is a past person for sure. Groupthink, crowd mentality, the expectation that you will go along with the status quo, signing up for a system of beliefs that don't make sense to you. Teachers obsessed with exercising authority instead of empowering students. Thinking your way is the only way. Speaking when you should listen. Using personal spirituality as an excuse to degrade others. Yeah, see, like right now, I feel like they are kind of like of that mindset that, like, the type of people that are like, they'll say like, oh, well, if you don't know this or you don't know that, then you're like not as cool as you think you are. Those types of people. I feel like this person is like kind of acting that way. And it's like, you just need to be like your own like nerdy, weird self, like your own creative, artistic self. And I feel like whatever their term or their label is for something, you're not like that though. Okay, Cancer, you're like an outsider. You don't go with what everybody else says or what everybody else wants you to do. Like, you're like your own unique person. You're like a catalyst. You're like a glitch in the matrix. And I feel like this person, I feel like at one point they definitely really admired that about you and really was drawn to that, like a moth to the flame. You're the flame, by the way, Cancer. I just think right now what's happening is that I think they're dealing with a lot of shadow energy that they have to work through. They have a lot of shadow work they need to get through. And I feel like they're letting other people influence their opinion of you. Like deep down inside, I feel like they do like respect you, and they do think that like you're an important person. I just think they don't have the words to like bring their thoughts to life, and I don't think they're ready to do that. I hope there can be some clarity in the future. I just think right now you have to just stay on your path, and the connection that you have right now with someone who's actually willing to like be your lover, who's actually willing to like go on that journey with you. You don't have to put any like terms or labels on it, but just like someone to like be with you, right? And just appreciate you. I think that is more important than worrying about this other person. And if you can do what you can to put up some boundaries and put up like some metaphorical like spiritual walls and distance between you and this person, the better off you're going to be. Okay? Because right now I feel like they don't understand, or they do understand, but they're like trying to like act like they don't. And that's not healthy for you, okay, Cancer? You need someone who knows what they want and is really direct and honest and straightforward about it. Not this like mind games, ghosting, wall haunting type stuff. No. That's not, yeah. Okay? Because if you let that affect what you have going now, that's like the separation energy, okay? Yeah. So let's take a look here. Okay, yeah, let's take a look here at what actions to take. And we have the Tower. Okay. All right, so the Tower. So this is interesting, okay, this Tower energy. And I only did major arcanas because I just felt like it was appropriate for Cancer. 16, okay. The Tower is the archetype of destruction. An act of release is the art of surrender. Exactly. And that's the big, huge, like, key difference between what other people and what, like, categorize as, like, the term soulmate, or the term, like, lovers, or the term art, or the term of, like, just, like, who you get, like, labels. Like, it's really like you're destroying the societal norms of, like, what these very specific, like, terms and labels mean. You're, like, pretty much, like, rewriting the whole definition of what it means to have a lover, or have a soulmate, or have a shadow mate. And you're exploring this new term, like wound mate here. It's like you're learning all these new things that talk about love, defining love. And there's this line in this book, that's like my favorite line in this book. And I don't know if I'm going to be able to find it. I did mark it in here, but it was under the Empress card, actually. So let me go there to Empress energy. Let's see if I can get this here. 53. So this is my favorite line in this book, okay? Magic is the science of love, okay? For it is precisely the accelerated evolution of the living forces of nature that the eagle of the shield of the Empress represents, the science of love. Yes, and that's what you have been looking and searching for, okay? As the High Priestess, your intuitive abilities have, like, far exceeded and far, like, I don't know, exceeded, I guess. They far surpassed. There you go, surpassed. They're the same thing. I don't know. Using different words here. Okay. But you, like, have surpassed yourself. okay? And it's through opening yourself up and being willing to have a connection with another person that's in the pursuit of justice that you are able to finally realize that what you're trying to do here right now, what you're learning through this connection, is how you define love, how you define soulmates, how you define a connection and an energy with someone. And your soulmate is like, you know, right alongside there with you. They might be, their focus and their energy might be more geared toward like justice and equilibrium and like societal expectations. However, it's like through your both individual paths, you both are teaching each other the Empress. You both are not trying to let other people's judge, like, I mean, the Hierophant, he can be a bit judgy. You know, there are spiritual gurus and mentors and stuff that you might meet along the way, and you might not agree with everything they say. And that's the great, you know, part of it all, is that you're discovering, though, you're opening yourself up to learning. It's when you stop wanting to learn. It's when you stop learning. Can't even talk right. It's when you stop wanting to learn. That's not gonna. Your connection's not gonna. Nothing's gonna happen. You're not gonna make any movement. You're not gonna make any progress in your life. You know, and the same goes for your soulmate. If you guys are both like energetically in alignment here with learning and exploring this connection, and also learning and exploring your own individual paths and learning more about yourselves through this connection, the destruction, it's not going to be you guys destroying each other. It's going to be you guys building each other up. So what you're building essentially here, I feel, is a bridge that you guys can both cross and meet in the middle. And when you guys meet in the middle, that's when, you know, like, you guys are together and you guys can share what you've learned along your own individual paths. Okay? It's when you start letting other people tell you how to build that bridge, or how to connect, or what to call yourselves, or what to do, or you should do this, or you shouldn't do this. Only you know what you should do. Only you know the truth. And there are going to be people along the way that are going to try to point you in the right direction. And your intuition, right, High Priestess, that's you, Cancer, your intuition is going to say, yes, this is right, or I don't know about that, right? So you can learn something from your soulmate in their pursuit for justice, and they can learn something from you and your pursuit for inner guidance and intuition. Okay? So I hope that resonated with some of you. Don't let any past lovers, exes, whatever, affect the connection and try to like hinder your relationship or make it seem like you guys aren't meant to be together, whatever. Like, you know, that's not going to be healthy. So just don't let other outside opinions on this connection affect where you go forward with it. Yeah. Okay. That's my message for you, beautiful souls. Love and light always, Cancer. Bye. Take care.